Hi, my name is Annie. Thank you for joining us today. I'm going to be talking about training opportunities available through the Pennsylvania CareerLink Lehigh Valley. If you haven't already, please download the course handouts to follow along. You may be thinking, this would be a great time to learn new skills or possibly access education or learn a new trade. Free education and training assistance may be available for those who qualify so that you can train in a high priority occupation in the Lehigh Valley. This is a federally funded program called the Workforce Innovation and Opportunity Act. You may hear us refer to it as WIOA, W-I-O-A. And I'm next going to go over how one may become eligible for this program that could lend funding assistance, again, to go back to school or even learn a trade. First, you must be a U.S. citizen or eligible to work in the United States. Also, for Pennsylvania CareerLink Lehigh Valley local programming, you do have to be a resident of either Lehigh or Northampton County to access training funding. If you reside out of this area, simply contact your local Pennsylvania CareerLink office for further instruction. Also, to be eligible for WIOA, you must have a Social Security number. In addition, we would look for you to complete your Pennsylvania CareerLink enrollment. This would include an online resume, we can help you with that, a civil rights statement, and filling out your job preferences. This is done at pacareerlink.pa.gov. Also, if you're a male born on or after January 1st, 1960, you must be registered for selective service. And you also must be either a dislocated worker or income eligible. For more information on what makes you a dislocated worker or income eligible, please go to our website at careerlinklehighvalley.org, click on Job Seekers, and drop down to Training and Education. Once you think, I might be eligible for the Workforce Innovation and Opportunity Act. Perhaps I will explore obtaining funding to go back to school. We have some local program requirements. First of all, you must have a high school diploma or GED at the start of your training program. Now, say that's something you're still looking to obtain. Please contact us. At least in my opinion, getting your GED is the number one best thing you can do to open up so many doors of opportunity. We can provide you with resources and contacts to take that critical first step. We're also going to take a look at your resume to see if you are eligible per our local requirements. With your resume as it is, could you jump out into the job search and be successful? Do you already have in-demand skills? And we also look for you to be requesting training in a high priority occupation within one of our Lehigh Valley targeted industry clusters. For the high priority occupation, each year the state of Pennsylvania puts out a list. They study the landscape of the labor market and list those occupations they deem to be in demand in the next few years. Then we take a look at that in our local area and individualize it to the Lehigh Valley, because what's in demand here might not be in demand, say, in Pittsburgh or Erie. We want to make sure that it's individualized for you. I'll also be going over our targeted industry clusters a little later in today's workshop. Another local program requirement is obtaining the minimum WorkKeys scores aligned with your occupational choice. WorkKeys is a proctored exam, and you will be tested in applied math, workplace documents, and graphic literacy. If testing sounds like a hurdle, do not worry. For our WIOA participants, we have a tutor available to you for remediation so that when you go into the work keys assessment, you're confident that you'll get the scores that you need to move forward. Also locally, you have to be able to meet the training provider's entrance requirements. Let's say, for example, you're interested in becoming a nurse. A prereq might be an anatomy class. This program does not pay for prerequisites, but once deemed eligible and starting the program for WIOA, you are assigned an individual career advisor, and we also have a training and education advisor. These individuals can talk with you about ways to handle different prerequisites. Also locally, you have to complete your training program within 24 months after the start of your funding, but that's still quite some time. In that amount of time, you could even earn an associate's degree. But maybe you're saying, Annie, I don't have 24 months. I have to get to work. There are short-term trainings available too, anything from a couple weeks up to 24 months. Also locally, you have to be seeking full-time training-related employment right after your training. So this would not be appropriate for a program where you would bridge into a 4-year degree. That's always something you could do later on after you've been employed and saved up for that next step. So really the question is to train or not to train. Take a really good look at your resume and your experience. Are you on the career pathway you want that's going to lead you to self-sufficiency? Or perhaps you're looking to provide for a family. Are you in a place to do so? Also, when looking to train or not to train, really take a good look at any challenges that might be coming your way so that you can be proactive. Going back to school or learning a trade will be an exciting time, but there will be some stressors as well. Try to get those as much as possible out of the way now. Look at any practical challenges you might have. Perhaps you have your heart set on a certain school, but your car just broke down and the bus doesn't come to your house or your apartment. Also take a look at any personal or lifestyle issues you might have. One example might be perhaps you're taking care of a family member and you're going to get some help next month. If you're looking at a training program that starts on a rolling basis, maybe it'll be better to start a little later once you have help. Again, you do have to meet those school entry requirements. And lastly, maybe you're thinking, Annie, this sounds great. I would love to upskill, but I really do have to get back to work right away. Consider our on-the-job training program. In this program, we actually contract with area employers, and then we supplement your wage to your employer to open up an opportunity for you to learn a new skill and be upskilled while earning a paycheck. We offer a listing of on-the-job training opportunities on our website at CareerLinkLehighValley.org that is updated monthly. If you see something there that you like, be sure to let us know so that we can advocate on your behalf and to help you possibly enroll in the WIOA program to do so. There are other guidelines involved in on-the-job training, so be sure to reach out to us at CareerLink to go over this great opportunity. As I mentioned earlier, as part of our requirements for funding for schooling, you would have to be in school for an occupation that is considered a high priority. There is a course handout. Take a look at it. This is the high priority occupation list. You will see 2.5 pages of occupations that fall underneath 5 targeted industry clusters. On that high priority occupation list, be sure to check out the key on page 3. That will tell you about the abbreviations for the different educational requirements per occupation. You will also see columns that talk about wages, an important part to consider when going back to school. And also the percentage of change in the last few columns. How much is this occupation deemed to grow over the next number of years? Lehigh Valley's targeted industry clusters fall under 5 categories. Manufacturing, very big in the Lehigh Valley, a lot of opportunity available. Healthcare and social assistance, critical. We are human beings. We get sick, things happen. We rely on our healthcare workers that do such important jobs. We thank all of you. Also in the Lehigh Valley, a targeted industry cluster is transportation, warehousing, and logistics. Perhaps you're thinking about getting your CDL. Think about all the different warehouses in the Lehigh Valley. These are large buildings employing a lot of people. And logistics. Maybe you want to be the person who makes sure the goods and the materials get from A to B. Finance and insurance is another targeted industry cluster, as well as a grouping you'll see, professional, scientific, and technical services. The high priority occupation list is available at CareerLinkLehighValley.org, and again, as a course handout. So next, I would like to talk a little bit on how to search for approved trainings. This will be a great point of the workshop to take a look at those step-by-step instructions available as a course handout. There are valuable screenshots there so you can easily go through step by step and search for a school that best suits you. So we're going to go to pacareerlink.pa.gov. This should sound familiar. That's where your resume is housed and your job preferences will be whenever you are looking to become eligible for WIOA. When you go on the landing page, you can simply click on training providers to start the search. When you click on training providers, different fields will come up where you can put in your keyword and your location to start that search. Keep your keywords simple to get more results. And be sure to put in your location or you will get results for schools all over Pennsylvania. Once you do so, you will get a listing of different course titles that are available. You will see on the right-hand side the name of the school and their contact information, and on the left, the different programs, including the length of the program and the service cost. One note about the service cost: do not be turned away if it looks very large. There might be, perhaps, if you are in a certain county, you might get in-county residence rates. So be sure to still click on the title to learn more about that program. Once you click on the title, you'll see a lot of great and helpful information. The first thing that we're going to be looking for at the top of the page is where it says training, ETPL. That is a great first step in learning that that school is an ETPL. It's on the eligible training provider list. But at each school, not every major and not every training program is approved. So we have to continue our research through this portion. So take a look at all of the helpful material that is there. You will see their address, their phone number, the skills you'll gain, a description of the program. But if you scroll all the way down, Under additional information, you will see a 6-digit code. That's called an SOC code. Simply cross-reference that number against your high priority occupation list. On the high priority occupation list, you will find the SOC code on the far left column. If you see that code under your course title, right there under additional information, as well as on the high priority occupation list, that is a training that you can request funding. We have several approved training areas that you will find on the high priority occupation list. As I mentioned earlier, there's CDL A and B. Perhaps you want to go into the healthcare field, become a certified nurse aide, or maybe you even want to become a registered nurse. Or perhaps you want to work on the administrative side of healthcare. Maybe you're good at computers. There are a number of offerings. And then the trades as well. Look around where you are. There's probably 100 different things that are welded right around you. Or perhaps you want to work in a warehouse, be a forklift operator. Do take a look at the high priority occupation list for a holistic list of what is deemed to grow in Pennsylvania. If I leave you with anything from this class, it is to research, research, research. This is a great opportunity for those who are eligible for WIOA. Again, that's the Workforce Innovation and Opportunity Act. Take a look at all the different careers that are out there, different occupations, and a great place to do that is ONET Online. Simply go to onetonline.org to access this resource. Perhaps you're thinking, Annie, this sounds great, but I'm just not sure. I want to make sure I make the most of this opportunity, but to what end? What occupation? I would recommend going to My Next Move. You'll see next to the blue arrow, there is a purple area that says, I want to be a. It says, start the career you've dreamed about, or find one you've never imagined. At My Next Move, this is a fun and user-friendly way to find out how your interests match with certain occupations. If you go into an occupation that is in line with your interests, it can open up so many possibilities for job satisfaction. When we are doing something that we feel like our skills, abilities, and interests are being utilized, that we espouse that company's mission, and that we are being adequately compensated, have benefits, when all of that comes together, we're going to be a fit for that career. And when we're a fit, our performance shows. When you have a high-performing employee who's a fit for a position, that's when we get job satisfaction. You can start that process again at My Next Move. Also, you'll see an area where you can do an occupation search. Right in the middle of the screen, you'll see where you put your keyword, or you can even put in an SOC code that we just learned about. Type that in to research many details of a certain occupation. When you put that in, you'll get a number of choices of occupations. Pay special attention to the ones that have a sunshine icon next to them. That means that that occupation has a bright outlook, that it's deemed to grow over the next couple of years. Next, take a look at all of the job duties. Is that in line with what you see yourself doing? Use the plus next to the headers to drop down even more information. Look through all of the different requirements, education, different tasks, and then scroll to the bottom. Take a look at what you'll be earning in that occupation on average. Click on Local Salary Info. If there is data in their software on that occupation, you can go ahead and research what you might even make here in the Allentown, Bethlehem, or Easton areas. Once you click on local salary info, you'll be presented with a bar graph. You can see how the wages in Pennsylvania compare to the rest of the U.S. And right above that graph, you'll see a link that says View Table. Click there, put in your location, scroll to our area, and see what you might earn right here in our local area. Research, research, research. One of the best things that you can do to make sure you're going on a path that's best. We would love to talk with you more about exploring training programs. I've only gone over just a few steps, but you can start by contacting us today. Simply reach out to us via phone at 610-437-5627. The TTY line is 610-437-0741. Thank you so much for taking time today to learn more about training opportunities available through the PA CareerLink Lehigh Valley.